Remote work is the biggest threat to white-collar jobs that we've seen to this point in history. And here's why. There is a battle raging between companies who want people to return back into work at a minimum on a hybrid level, at a maximum all in, back in, 5 days a week. And then people who are saying, I don't want to do that. I love working remote. It has made my life better. I can't go back to what it used to be without it costing me a ton of stress and money due to childcare, all manner of things. I hear this all the time, and I get it. The battle is waging right now. Every day it seems as though there's another bigger company that is announcing we're making you come back to work. And you got people that are dug in going, I'm not going to do it. And it's a game of chance. Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to lose. And for companies who say you got to come back in, but you're saying, I don't want to come back in. For companies that say, well, you know what? We're done fighting that battle. If we got to do remote, if remote's the only way. And the battle's still waging. I don't know which way it's going to go, but here's the warning. There will be companies who will say, if I cannot win the remote or hybrid battle, it's going to at least cost me a whole lot less, and this is the threat. The more work you in a white-collar position, which has traditionally been safe because they offshore blue-collar jobs, but now with technology advancing, they're going to look at your white-collar job, and if they can't get you back in and they got to settle for remote, they can, and some will, ship your job overseas to somebody in some other country who will do it for half, maybe even less. And you need to be aware of this. You're a white-collar worker who's been remote and there's tension about getting you back in, or maybe there eventually will be tension about it. You are expendable, and you've never been this expendable before. You're making six figures, $150,000, and they can send your job overseas and pay someone $50 to do it. You think they won't? They will. They have been doing it. By the way, I post stuff like this on Instagram and people come at me from all different angles, and I appreciate it. I didn't say I'm anti-remote work. I didn't say that you couldn't be productive in a remote job. That's not my beef. I'm warning you to say, pay attention to the way that the world is moving. You could be at risk. They've offshored white-collar jobs before. I hear those comments, and it didn't work. I get it. This is not a new phenomenon, but it is being predicted that it could happen at a much larger scale. And that, to me, concerns me. Who's saying it? Richard Baldwin, an economist at the Graduate Institute in Geneva, has said that jobs that can be performed remotely could be at risk as someone with the same skills in other countries may do the same level of work for much less pay. Remote work has reshaped how the global economy operates. Absolutely true. So while they may not like it, if leaders of companies that would rather you be in the office, if they don't feel they can win that war, they're going to save money. I promise you. Google laid off 10,000 people. Disney, 7,000 people. The list goes on and on and on. Big companies will drop you in a second to help their stock price. You're telling me they won't drop you in a second? Because they can't get you back in. And if they're going to go remote, they're going to go, man, we're paying X amount of dollars for U.S. white-collar workers, and I can save 50%, 60%, 70% if I ship that job overseas. People say, well, Ken, what about the customer service? Really? We really think that these big time companies are going to make a decision over customer service? Come on, listen to yourself. Be aware. The demand for contractors is more relevant than ever. The total number of professionals pivoting to independent work has skyrocketed since the onset of the pandemic, mainly due to the desire for more flexibility in their daily schedules. This is good news for the world's largest corporations. In fact, research shows that U.S. companies have started relying more on contractors, with the number of contractor payments jumping 56% from 2019 to early 2022. A quote from Liz Wilkie, a principal economist at Gusto that did this study. The pandemic became a very volatile time and lots of businesses needed to pivot on very quick timelines. Pay attention to that statement. And they also needed skills and capabilities that they didn't have before or could not get in the talent market. And that is the primary advantage of contractors. Now, why am I sharing this? Am I trying to contradict what I just said? No. What I'm saying is companies have already shifted to this, and if they can't get you in, they're going to go, okay, what's a contractor cost me in Nebraska versus a contract in Nepal? And it's just different scales. So why am I sharing this with you? First, be careful how much you dig your heels in the sand. If your company wants you back in the office and they're offering you a hybrid model, I think you got to look at it. I wouldn't dismiss it. If they're saying, we want you back in the office, I wouldn't dismiss that. You've done it before, you could do it again. Will it inconvenience you in some way? Sure. But how much will it inconvenience you if they ship your job overseas and now you're in a bigger pool? I'm saying that this job economy that we're in right now, where we've got 2-to-1 jobs available for people who are employed, that's not going to last forever. And it only takes one big company to just come out and announce it, and guess what happens? They all start going like dominoes. I saw it happen in the pandemic. Walmart or Target, I forget which one, came out first and said, you know what? Forget the federal minimum wage. We're going to jack up our minimum wage and what we offer. And you just saw company after company after company after company do it. And that's why we have stubborn inflation. We have been in a wage war for the last 2 years. The Great Resignation, people leaving. I'm going to do this job over here. Same job I'm doing, I'm going to do it to a new company, and I'm going to make 12 to 15% more. And you know what the companies do? They keep passing on the cost to you. You want to know why Joe Biden and our feckless Fed chair, Jerome Powell, can't stop inflation with all their stupid interest hikes? You know why they can't stop it? Because we're still in a wage war. Wage pressures are driving all of this. Now, no one's telling you that on your favorite news channel because it's not advantageous to headlines. That's what's going on. So the other reason I'm telling you this is you need to be prepared. If you're not willing to go back into the office, that is your God-given right. More power to you. But you better have an alternate plan for passive income, starting your own gig, locking yourself in with somebody that'll hire you till the cows come home to do remote work. Just be prepared. That's all I'm saying.